Welcome, Irish Nation, to another episode of the Golden Domer Homer podcast. I am your host, Robin Neighbor, here again with the Cub, Kenny Ball.
Irish.
And Tyler D., the prognosticator.
3-0, soon to be 4-0.
This week, we're going to go over the Purdue game, a bit of an improvement there, and preview the Wisconsin game, as well as go over our normal picks. I'll start with Kenny Ball with his thoughts on the Purdue game and positives.
Yeah, positives. I thought the defense played well. Robbie, your prediction last week, Kyle Hamilton came back to play. He was actually, I saw, PFF Player of the Week for Defensive Player in the country. Win and you cover, I think is big, because you go out and everyone's kind of expecting you to lay an egg like you have, and you score some points, and really the defense played pretty well. There were some play calls, and Jack Cohn, I think we have question marks now, but other than that, I think a good start, 3-0, and we'll see what we got this week.
Tidy?
Yeah, same here. I mean, you're a Braden Lindsey drop ball and Jack Cohn connecting on a couple wide open receivers away from winning that game by 3 or 4 touchdowns. So very happy with how defense played. I think the biggest stat for the team in that game is the fourth quarter shutout, especially with how they played in the fourth quarter the last 2 weeks. Feel a lot better about the team than I did a week ago. And a lot better about the defense. I think I predicted them to give up 40 points because I was still a little salty after watching them almost lose to Toledo. So glad I was wrong, and feel good going into week 4.
No, I completely agree. The defense looked great. The defense was the biggest positive takeaway from the game. The O-line was a bit more aggressive. They weren't great by any means, but they had a few very nice plays, some good blocks, a lot more to be happy with than in the past weeks. Plenty of missed blocks, but receivers could have been better. But like you said, a couple drops and a couple big plays away from really blowing out Purdue. They kind of handled Karlofsky pretty decent. I mean, he went off a little bit, but he didn't really make any big sacks. He was pressuring all over the place, but it's to be expected from one of the top defensive players in the Big Ten. Kyron looked great.
Yeah,
Kyron had a great game. So overall, I was happy. The improvements were made, and I can't complain about that win.
Purdue would have won if they could have brought their stupid drum.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, looking over some stats here, I mean, I think there are some things that stick out about the offense, and we mentioned, Lindsey drops a touchdown pass that Cohn did put right in his hands. I got to catch that one. What sticks out the most to me is, first of all, Avery Davis had a great game. He had that deep ball, 62-yard touchdown. But Michael Mayer, 1 reception. We got to get the ball in that guy's hands more often, it feels like. Every time he has the ball, something good happens. So that's the one thing that sticks out on offense to me. Other than Cohn, really, he struggled
early. He struggled early. He improved big in the second half. Second half was a great half. First half was not very good at all.
He doesn't seem to have very good pocket awareness. It's like it collapses, or he just can't get out of there. I don't know.
I think it's both.
On another note, they said that Buckner did tweak a hamstring on one of his runs, and that's why he didn't play much in that second half of the second half kind of thing.
Yep, and I heard Kelly said today he'll get aggressive attention on that this week and fully expects him to play this weekend. So,
yep, no worries there as far as that goes. So we'll see.
I think we kind of talked in there about what needs to improve. I was not very happy with the play calling in the first half.
We were very predictable. It was when Buckner was in, we were running. When Kilman was in, we were throwing. And
Buckner still ran the ball pretty well.
That
one run, he stiff-armed the guy and got yards. But
he's very elusive. He can gets out of there somehow. He doesn't look like Lamar Jackson or anything flashy, but somehow the guys just don't bring him down and he gets away. I don't know.
And I would agree that we're very predictable right now. I'd like to see Buckner throw the ball a little more because it feels like every time he's in there, they just run a read option.
Yeah.
So
It's like they only run one play when he's in the game.
Yeah, and sometimes the RPO, but he never seems to throw it, except for the one touchdown pass. That was nice, but
which was a beautiful throw. And I think he's way more capable at throwing than what it appears at this point. I think he'll be able to sling the ball
absolutely.
around.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and you wonder, I know they just snuck by the first 2 weeks, but wonder if they're kind of holding something up their sleeve for this big stretch coming. Maybe not showing everything that, they're going to show against Wisconsin and UC. But we'll see.
And last point for me was the O-line improved as far as aggression and physicality goes, but they still missed plenty of blocks. That shot Kyron took when they just didn't block the backside D and he came in unblocked and drilled him, and there was just multiple times. But Zeke Correll looked much better today. Kane Madden, not much better. And Josh Lugg had an oddly bad game. I don't know what happened in this game, but Lugg kind of disappointed me today. But Tosh Baker played up, and Joe Alt actually came in at tight end and had a pretty good game wearing number 45. He actually had a pancake block on that Kyron Williams touchdown. So I was impressed with the freshman.
Yep. Moving to the opponents this week. UC snuck by in Bloomington. They did win by 14. That game was tight the whole game. USC, did they just squeak by, or who'd they play?
Yeah, I think they won pretty decisively. They beat Washington State.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Did they? I didn't look. I just saw a couple things on Twitter. Did they start Jackson Dart?
No,
I don't know that.
I saw. I wasn't sure. I
Slovis,
just saw a picture of Jackson Dart on the internet, and I hadn't checked that box score.
he played, but I think Slovis got hurt somewhere in there. They got to fix that guy's eye black. It just goes down over one eye. It's really weird.
Yeah, I think Dart is probably the quarterback for them moving forward, in my opinion. So,
North Carolina, they rolled, I think.
Yeah, one of their receivers had a big game.
They ended up pulling away. They were up, I think, 24-7, and then UVA ended up coming back, and it was 28-24 at halftime, and then North Carolina put their feet on the gas.
It ended up 51-24 or 50-24 or something.
Going back to that USC game, Keaton Slovis went 1 of 2 for 8 yards. Jackson Dart went 30 of 46 for 391, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think he might take that job over, depending on what happens to Slovis.
I think Slovis did get hurt, though. I think he did start the game.
Yeah, I'd imagine he did. It's just depending on how badly hurt he is. I wouldn't be surprised if Dart.
Yeah. And then Stanford, they beat our Clark Lee.
Yeah.
They beat Vandy this week. So
good bounce back for them. They're 2-1 now after starting 0-1 and getting kind of beat up by Kansas State.
Yep.
But good Lord, Florida State.
Oh boy, that team's bad, fellas. They're already calling for Norvell's head.
Yeah, which is insane to me. They'd be paying 4 coaches counting the new guy.
Yeah, I don't get it. You're in a never-ending. You got to let the guy. I mean, he's only in his second year. The first year wasn't even really. It's a COVID year. It was a shortened season.
And Willie Taggart wrecked that place. Let's not be. He did, and Jimbo didn't exactly pave the road for him either. Jimbo left for a couple of different reasons. One was money, and the other was I think he saw the writing on the wall.
And Lamar Jackson made him look like a fool.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson made the Chiefs' defense look like fools too. So
yeah, he's good.
Virginia played North Carolina. No way, win or lose there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Purdue gets beat. Virginia Tech, they looked bad to start. But they had a chance to win it late. I think they had it 1st and 5 from West Virginia's 5 and couldn't get in at the end of the game. So. Yeah,
that game was ugly until it was close. It was weird.
Yeah, and then Wisconsin had a bye, of course. No one wants to play the week before they play Notre Dame for some reason.
Unbelievable.
UC has a bye this week.
Yep.
Just seems to be every time Notre Dame plays somebody, and maybe can save their season. I don't know. They've looked really, really bad as well.
Navy's not too far ahead of UConn.
They had a bye this week as well. So, thoughts and strength of schedule. Ty, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously UC is the only undefeated team left. I think the Wisconsin loss looks better now with Penn State winning Saturday. I think they're probably a little better than I thought they were at the beginning of the year. Florida State going 0-3 is just awful. Not really for strength of schedule, just for college football. I mean, they haven't been 0-3 since 1976, which.
And I'll tell you what,
45 years ago.
Louisville coming off a big win might go get them this week.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. I mean, yeah.
Start 0-4.
Not much change. I think we had a little question mark with what was going to happen at USC after their coach getting fired. They came out and it was Washington State, but they came out and looked good. Everything else kind of. I didn't think Toledo would lose to Colorado State, but other than that, I think pretty much everything that we thought would happen happened. VT could have beat West Virginia.
Yeah, I don't know that it's much change.
Yeah.
We're kind of.
I think if Cincinnati loses to Indiana, then that would take a lot of luster off our game. Obviously, next week, if Notre Dame beats Wisconsin and both teams are undefeated, you got to think with Notre Dame beating Wisconsin too, they might jump up and get into the top 10. So then you got an 8 versus 10 or an 8 versus 9 matchup there, and so them winning, I think, is big for Notre Dame.
Yeah, this week's huge for us, and that UC win, like you guys said, was big for the schedule strength of schedule. That loss really would have cemented us as being a very average schedule this year. North Carolina seems to be maybe figuring things out a little bit after that week 1 debacle.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, USC is not a bad team moving forward. I mean, they got dominated by Stanford, but you never know.
I mean, just looking at the Big Ten West too, I think Wisconsin's in a pretty good place to win that division and play in the Big Ten championship. It's week 3, but
yeah, I got a lot of faith in Iowa. I got a lot of faith in Iowa this year.
Yeah,
Iowa's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other things around college football, I kind of had in here. I mean, Big Ten looks pretty good right now. Penn State beats Auburn. Michigan State goes down to Miami and beats the U.
Smacks them.
I know they played Northern Illinois, but Michigan looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And so, I've kind of said it's kind of weird because, like, Ohio State doesn't look very good, and these other teams are starting to look a little better. Ohio State did beat Tulsa, but they looked rough.
I think they were only up like 5 at halftime.
Yeah.
And not great.
A couple other things. UCLA having a great year, and then Fresno goes down and beats them at the Rose Bowl. Bama didn't look untouchable. I mean, in the past, that's a game that they go out and they just roll, especially against a quarterback that really just runs the ball. Florida doesn't have much of a threat throwing the ball. And the last thing I wanted to talk about just around college football, man, do the referees look terrible. I don't usually complain all this and blame the refs for games, but if you watch the Indiana UC game, they completely changed the game with a targeting call in the first half, which is a conversation for another time, but they got to go to F1, F2, like in basketball. There's no reason for someone to be thrown out on a targeting call. And then you got the other 2 games. The Penn State game, you ever heard of a 2-and-out before?
Oh, my God.
Went from first down to third down, and then they had to punt on fourth. There was no second down played. The Mississippi State Memphis game. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see that one, but the one you just talked about with that that one was bad when they just jumped from first to third down. That
Real
was
bad. The Mississippi State game, Mississippi State punts the ball, goes down, touches it. There's a guy on the ground, like holding it against the ground. Ref comes in waving his arms. Guy from Memphis picks it up and takes it to the house, and they let it go.
whoa.
Oh, it is really bad. And I thought actually I was really nervous that they were going to throw Kyle Hamilton out.
I got a little nervous, but not that nervous.
For the hit on Bell?
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the replay, though, it was like it was forearm and shoulder to the middle of the back.
Yeah,
I'm sure Terry McCulley thought it was targeting.
Terry
That guy's a moron.
And then, did you guys hear what Kelly said today, or maybe after the game the other day? They were talking to him about being tied for the winningest coach at Notre Dame. Did you guys hear what he said?
I did not.
He said, "Yeah, I know where I stand. I'm the winningest coach without a national championship."
Good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great quote.
So we've gone from executing players to realizing we haven't won a national championship. Steps in the right direction, right?
God, 2012, Kansas State just needed to go undefeated.
And by the way, I don't know.
There'd be a banner in the tunnel.
We mentioned it last year, but or last week, I think. But Brian Kelly's up for the USC job.
Yeah.
ESPN wants clicks.
Goofy.
Rob, anything in the recruiting world?
No, the biggest thing I've seen, we had a good recruiting weekend. Quinshon Judkins just released his he's a 4-star running back, I think out of Georgia or Mississippi, I forget at the moment, but either way, he's a good running back and he'd help. He just released his top 3 and we were in it, so that's good.
Do you know who else?
It was, I can tell you right now because he's quick to pull up because there's not a whole lot of Judkins out there. It was a strong top 3 though. It was us, Auburn, and Ole Miss.
Okay.
He's a Southern kid, so good to be there. And the biggest news was Xavier Nwankpa had an Ohio State recruit guy kind of confirm Ohio State's in 3rd behind Notre Dame and Iowa right now for him.
Good.
So I'd much rather be in a recruiting battle with Iowa than Ohio State moving forward. So that helps. But other than that, there's not been a ton. Just some, we had some good recruits in this weekend. A couple 2023 kids that are up in the air, but nothing too big. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet it's quiet time for recruiting at the moment.
Back to because we've talked about him a lot in the past. The game this past week. Your boy Nana had a nice play in that game.
Yes, he did. He recognized that trick play.
Yep, big time play. Is that considered a sack? I don't know what you even call that.
That's what I was wanting to say. Tackle for loss, at least one of yet another the defense had.
It says it's a sack.
Good.
On ESPN. So yeah, that's good. And then was it Cam Hart made a nice play on that ball at the end of the game there. The one that got picked.
Yeah, was it Cam Hart that made that deflection that Kyle took?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, that was a good play.
All right, Ty, you want to lead us into the game this week?
You ready to talk Wisco, boys?
Yeah.
I guess we are.
Wisconsin, Notre Dame, Soldier Field, Chicago. We got game day, big noon Saturday. Everybody's going to be there. It's a noon kick, which is just so stupid. 11 a.m.
11 o'clock local time.
Can you imagine going to a football game at 11 a.m.? It's still breakfast time. Give me a
It's
break.
Insane. Kegs and eggs, baby. Kegs and eggs.
Stupid Big Ten.
First time ever. Big noon kickoff, game day, and the Barstool pregame at the same location. First time ever.
Barstool. Yep, the trifecta, if you would.
We're irrelevant.
Best part about being on Fox, though, we get to listen to Gus Johnson. Love that guy. Early line, Wisconsin -6.5. 17th all-time matchup. Notre Dame leads 8-6 with 2 ties. Last meeting, Ara Parsegian's first season in 1964, a 31-7 Irish win in Madison. Wisconsin's 1-1 with that loss to Penn State. their coach, Mr. Paul Christ, one of the most boring play callers on the face of the earth. He's 57-20 in those 7 seasons. Took him to the Rose Bowl with Jack Cohn at quarterback and lost. And that's about it for Paul Christ highlights. So, what do you guys think?
I just want to point out, early line came out 6.5. It's already been bet to 5.5.
We're down to 5.5.
Less than 24 hours and a lot of money coming in on the Irish.
I should have hit it when it was at 6.5.
Bold predictions. Robbie, what do you got, man?
Bold prediction in this game is I think Buckner accounts for 2 touchdowns on offense. And I think on defense, it's a tough one for me, but I think I'm going Jason Ademilola, 5 tackles for loss.
Oh, it's good.
They're going to try to pound that ball up the middle, and he's going to just go ahead and keep tackling him.
That means if they keep pounding it up the middle, we need Kyle Hamilton to not make every tackle.
Exactly.
That's not good. My bold prediction, I'll say Braden Lindsey, 2 tutties. One on like one of those jet sweeps or the one where the quarterback catches it and just tosses it right to him. And on defense, I'm going to go Myron Tagovailoa Amosa, however you say his name. I'll say 2 sacks.
I'm going to piggyback that. I was going to say a forced fumble. So from Myron, and I didn't really pick anything for offense.
Jack Cohn, 5 more touchdowns.
Yeah, Jack Cohn's going to throw for 1,000 yards. I don't know.
Jack Cohn looks him up and looks at Paul Christ and just says,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think ultimately they're going to stop the run and make Graham Mertz throw the ball. And if they do that, then they're going to win.
Exactly. Graham Mertz is not going to beat us. That's my
Graham
prediction.
Mertz looked fantastic in his first game last season when they played, I think, Illinois. He was like 20 for 21 with 3 or 4 touchdowns. I mean, looked incredible and hasn't looked that since. I think they probably got it wrong giving him the job over Cohn, and we're going to benefit from it.
all right. I got Irish money line. No way I'm betting against them.
Yeah.
Irish
Yeah,
4-0.
This has been one of those games I've said all year doesn't scare me, and I'm not going to change now. So Irish to roll.
Irish
Stop
remain
the run,
4-0,
make Graham throw, win the game.
and we're
Simple
happy
as
next
that.
week. And with the old the Bearcats coming to town.
Oh, buddy.
Be nice. Be 4-0. Headed up to South Bend for the game. That'd be a good time.
Absolutely.
Yep. So moving on to the picks around college football.
Ty?
Yeah, so
As
long as we're sticking with neutral site games in NFL stadiums, Texas A&M plays Arkansas. A&M is a 6-point favorite in Jerry World on Saturday. Robbie, go first.
A&M all day. Arkansas is a bunch of fakers. So there's no doubt in my mind that A&M rolls them.
Yep, I think games in Texas. I think A&M comes to play and wins that SEC West matchup.
First bold pick of the day, call the Hogs. Call the Hogs.
Well, Kenny Ball, there's where we get even right there. We get even right now.
Call
That's
the
right.
Hogs.
First
Jimbo
game of the
Fisher
day.
is overrated. Call the Hogs.
I don't like Jimbo either, but I think in Jerry's world, I think A&M goes and gets him.
I'll start
We do
doing
got
the
that
Pig
backup
Suey
quarterback.
chant.
But
Hey, how about if I get it right, one of you has to do the Pig Suey chant next week?
Oh, what?
You know, that stupid
the woo pig suey. No, that was my
Pig Suey, Razorbacks.
when I became a college baseball fan this year. The woo pig suey chant made me so mad I can't even think about doing it.
Well, they're gonna be singing it all night long in Dallas when the Hogs upset A&M.
I kind of hope you're right, but
Probably
think
not
you're-
going to be. All right, let's go ACC-SEC matchup. Missouri Tigers visiting Chestnut Hill to play BC. Kenny Ball, what do you think?
First of all, Ty, are you going fishing?
I am playing with a fish lure.
No lure. Oh, I'm going to go with Boston College at home. I know Jerkovich is hurt. I'm going to go with Dennis Grissel to get it done. They've called his number a couple times the last couple of years, and he's always answered the call. I like him to get it done in this game and beat Missouri.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going against you, Kenny. I'm taking Missouri. If Phil was there, I'd take Boston College all day. I just think that SEC team might get it done finally for him. Man. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in it. I don't know much about either team, but Phil being out really hurts him for me.
I have the exact same thought, and I'm going with Missouri as well. No Phil, back up. I don't know. Not as high on the Eagles without Phil. Sticking in the SEC-ish, Coach O, go Tigers, going to Mississippi State. LSU's a 4-point favorite, Robbie.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Tigers for no reason other than I just think they just get it done. I have no faith in Mississippi State as being a good football team, and I think Coach O's coaching for his job here soon, so that's where we're at.
Coaching for his job already? He just won a natty 2 years ago.
LSU's there. Yeah.
Head to Stark
breed down there.
LSU headed into Stark Vegas. I think we're going to need more cowbell, fellas. I'm going to roll with the Bulldogs and Mike Leach.
Yeah, I got LSU minus. I think they're going to win outright, and I think they're going to cover. Just something about, like you said, Coach O, kind of fighting for his life. It seems like they were making jokes last week. His son's on the team that they played last week, and it's like, oh, he's going to lose to his son and lose his job. I like LSU on the road, getting it done. Going to the ACC, our friends at Florida State, who are 0-3, are hosting the Louisville Cardinals, who had a nice upset win last Friday. Louisville actually is a 2.5-point favorite. Kenny, what do you think?
Louisville coming off a big win. I actually read somewhere they thought it was one of Satterfield's biggest games of his tenure so far down there. I don't know how you can pick Florida State right now. I think Malik Cunningham's going to run all over him. Louisville goes in and wins.
Piggybacking off Kenny, I'm going to go 2 weeks in a row. You threw my lock of the week into our picks. Go Cards. My lock of the week, the Louisville Cardinals.
Yeah, I think they're going to get some rest. They played like 3 games in 12 days or 14 days, some insane stat, with a couple of short weeks, and then playing the Monday night game. Florida State's just bad. I think they're going to be feeling great off that win and go down there and win. So that's 3 picks for Louisville. Heading to the West, our former rival, Stanford Cardinal, are hosting the UCLA Bruins. UCLA coming off the big upset loss to Fresno State at home. 4-point favorites. Robbie, who you like?
I like the Bruins. I think the Bruins are going to run all over them. That backfield is something else. Charbonnet, and I forget the other kid's name. It might be Black. I forget his name, but they can. I'm going UCLA with over 200 yards rushing.
Ty?
I like the Bruins as well. I think they're going to come off that loss pissed and take it out on Stanford.
I am going to go with the where is this game?
At Stanford.
I'm going to go with the home team. Coming off 2 wins. They've scored a lot of points. They scored 42 2 weeks ago against USC, 41 against Vandy. There's a bit of a look ahead, but I think they got to win this week, or you're staring 2-3 down the barrel. They got Oregon next week. They got Oregon coming to town, but I'm going to say a win against UCLA gets their season back on track here, and I'm going to go with the Cardinal.
I like
It'd be
it.
good for our strength of schedule. It'd be good for our
Absolutely.
strength of schedule.
Picking one more Big 12 matchup. Kansas State going to Oklahoma State. Kansas State is a 6-point dog. Robbie?
I'm taking Oklahoma State at home. I think they get it done. Is it Gundy still there?
It is.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I'll take Gundy. Score a bunch of points.
And he's a man. And he's probably 52 by now. That video is pretty old.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
That is old.
KB,
Go ahead. You go ahead, buddy.
Well, I'm going to go opposite, give you the chance to be the tiebreaker. I'm going to take I don't know if K-State's going to win, but I definitely like the points. I would bet on Kansas State. I'm going to take Kansas State to win. What the hell? Like the Wildcats.
See, I'm taking Oklahoma State to cover on a touchdown and a tie game, like a 42 or 40-something game with a last-second touchdown.
Okay.
I'm going to go Oklahoma State. Last week I liked Boise. They were my lock of the week. Oklahoma State went up to the blue turf and beat them. I think they're gonna go out and get the win at home. I believe Kansas State's quarterback is a little banged up. I'd have to check that. I know he was a couple weeks ago. But I like Oklahoma State to go out and get this win. So
I like it. Let's get into some super dogs.
Fun part of the day.
That's right. KB, give us some stats on super dog picks.
Give us what? Some stats on the super dog picks.
Yeah.
Our super dogs last week were not good.
Yeah.
I think we all lost our super dog. Ark State, South Carolina, and Tulane let us down. Ty, you've had 2 covers on super dogs. I've had 1 for the year. Robbie still has 0 points on the super dog side of things. Robbie, what do you got this week? Let's see if we can get you on the board.
I'm going NC State against Clemson. I have no faith in that Clemson offense. They're averaging about, I think it's less than 4 yards a play against Power 5 opponents so far this year. So I do not expect them to cover the 10 points, much less dominate NC State in the rivalry game.
NC State plus 10. Is it at Clemson?
I think it is, yes. That scares me a little bit, but we'll see.
Tyler?
I like the West Virginia Mountaineers plus 16.5 against Oklahoma. I think it'll be another shootout. Oklahoma's defense still has not impressed me. Yeah, almost heaven, West Virginia, baby. Plus 16.5.
Almost heaven, West Virginia. All right. A little bit of a weird Power 5 headed to a group of 5 school for my super dog. I am going to take the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. Indiana with a bit of a emotional game last week. I think Western can score on that defense. They might not stop Penix, but I think they can score with them, and I'm going to roll with the Hilltoppers plus 9. Looks like the total is 63, so that might be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Yeah,
it's a lot of offense there.
8 o'clock on CBS Sports Network on Saturday night, so that'll be a good little nightcap.
Absolutely. After I slept off the hangover from the noon game.
Tomorrow, 11 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm starting for game day.
There you go. Get up. It's game day.
That's right.
Kegs and eggs.
How about some locks?
How about some locks? Robbie gave his out. Louisville, minus 2.5. He went 1-0 last week. He's now 1-2 for his locks.
And a second lock that shouldn't really count is Penn State hosting Villanova. That's a FCS at Power 5 program. That's a very low spread, really. What was it? How many points you say, Tidy? 29?
29.
Yeah, they're going to kill them.
So we'll make the Louisville game your actual lock, but
yeah, just for fun, just see what happens with that one.
Yep, absolutely. Ty, you are 0-3 on your locks. So you want to get on the board this week or what?
Soon to be 1-3. Soon to be 1-3. Michigan State -5 against Nebraska. I'm not sure where it's at. I don't think it matters. Nebraska, talk about a once proud program that is just terrible. Laying 5. I mean, easy. Mel Tucker's got the Spartans rolling, coming off that big win, beating the crap out of Miami and South Beach. I like Sparty -5.
All right, we got you down there. And mine is going to be UNC -12 against Georgia Tech. I think they have to go to Atlanta. Actually, I think this game is in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. A lot of neutral site games this week in NFL stadiums.
Lame. Neutral site games stink.
I think UNC just is too good on offense and just scores like they did this week against Virginia. Clemson did kind of hold. They 14-8 this week. But my lock of the week is the Tar Heels. Minus, what did I say? -12.
I like it. I'm getting on the board with my lock. I can feel it. This is my week.
It's about time.
I know.
I'll tell you, I've actually been pretty good picking lately. I just in the pod, I haven't been great, but I pick some games that we don't pick, and then I'm good on Saturdays.
No, if they win you money, that's all that matters.
That's right.
Fantasy football has been a bit of a literal 500 for me. I went 2-1 the first week and 1-2 the second week. We're going to see what happens in the third week, I guess.
There you go.
Lost all of my fantasy football in the college football world on FanDuel, though. Chris Tyree kind of screwed me.
He didn't play great.
Didn't have much opportunity either. It was kind of predictable.
Yep.
All right, well, that's all I got, fellas.
Yep. Robbie, you want to take us away?
Yeah, that'll do us for another episode of the podcast. We'll see you next week, Irish Nation, and go Irish. Beat Badgers.
Stop the run.
Yes, sir. Let's go 4-0.
Yep.
Call the
Got to
Hogs
stop the
upset.
run. Stop this run.